So we're in Baltimore. I'm eating a delicious piece of pizza. We were supposed to leave this morning, but the winds were gusting at 25 knots all day, and we decided we're gonna stay put. And had we not stayed put, we wouldn't be sitting here this evening having this delicious pizza. From where? High Slice?
No.
What's it called?
Home
Slice.
Slice. SLYCE.
And now we're off on another adventure after the pizza.
And I would say it's probably one of the best pizzas I've had at port. Period.
Okay.
It is excellent.
And now I'll continue to what I was saying. We're off to another adventure after the pizza and early in the morning. Good morning. It is 5:04 in the morning, beginning of a long day. OLOH is heading to Cape May. That is the plan. First thing to do, check the weather and verify that it is as forecast, because weather is what kept us here the extra day, which is a big part of the reason that we're going to have a very long day, but it definitely looks like it has calmed down. I'll look ahead and check a few other things, go through my checklist. Reminder, I needed to open up our hydraulic fluid reservoir. That is my very fancy label, so remember to do that. But I have gone through the engine room with the engine oil checks, checked our brake cores, our fuel filters, coolant levels, hydraulic fluid. Fuel manifold is in its proper position. Always important to make sure that nothing got knocked out of place underway. Our sight gauges are closed for our fuel tanks. I've checked all of our bilge pumps and high water alarms, a bunch of other stuff here that I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna get cracking because we got a lot to do. We're looking to get off right at sunrise, which is around 5:30 this morning, to prepare for about 110 nautical miles on the water. So, time to get going. I just confirmed it says the wind is coming out of the northwest at 1 knot. That's all right for getting out of this dock in fairly tight little fairway. We actually have boat shoes, deck shoes, non-marking, firm gripping shoes that we only wear on the boat. We don't wear them in the street, keep them free of dirt and everything, and that way they stay nice and clean for our deck. Tim's have really cool soles. I can only find one of his shoes. I have no idea where the other one is. Time to fire up the generator. Preheat for 10 seconds. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming online. Pressure is good.
Good morning.
Good morning. So they hooked up a boost transformer here for the shore power because I guess they make 208 volts or something like that, and just to make sure we had good power on the boat, which we did. All the while we were here. Anchorage Marina in Baltimore has been really a nice place. We had to leave the boat for a few weeks, and I'm glad this was the spot.
All right.
The dockmaster Wayne couldn't be nicer and more accommodating. People we met here are terrific. Met some great new neighbors over there on the Tuscan Sun. We had Mike and Maria over on Boot Up. But it is time for us to take our leave. Get going. Ignitions are on. We're going to start the engines. We're going to go starboard first, then port. Tim is in the back. He's going to watch the exhaust. We have, since the boat hasn't been run in a few weeks, went through all the systems, fired everything up, checked everything out. Yesterday, starboard engine coming online.
Very nice.
Pressure's coming up. Oil pressure good, transmission pressure good, fuel flow is good. Here comes the port engine.
It's good back here.
Oil pressure is good, transmission good, fuel is flowing. Engaging station, and going about my business.
All right, getting ready to do the lines.
Yacht controller time. Power that up. Goes right around the neck. You do not want to drop this in the water. Yacht controller power on at the helm. Thrusters are both up. And now I'm going to go out and I'm going to bump each of the gears and the thrusters just to make sure everything is working as it should. Ready for tests. Valve thruster both ways good. Here comes starboard forward. Starboard reverse. Port forward. Port reverse. Okay. Rudder is centered. Here we go.
We have a very tight fairway here. So we are slowly rolling out. And you are clear of the swim platform. You can turn at any time.
All right, so I'm staying on yacht controller just because it's a little tight here. That was pretty tight. There was maybe, I don't even know if there was 5 feet off the bow as we spun. So in any wind, which yesterday was about 15, 20 mile an hour winds, that would not have been any fun. So I'm going to stay out here. Tim's going to watch the stern as we come around this fairway, this is not so bad. Here, normally, coming out of a tighter fairway like this, I would sound one whistle, but given that I can see everything, and it's just past 5:30 in the morning, and there's clearly no traffic, I am not sounding a whistle and respecting my fellow sleeping boaters. And we are leaving the Anchorage Marina. Great spot to be. And we're just gonna come right out of the basin at a very low idle, enter the Canton area of Baltimore Harbor. That's an Oasis Marina in front of us there. Depths are good here. We're in 12.5 feet of water. It's a very interesting harbor in Baltimore. They have service for some old ships, including this big gray lady in front of us. That is just something. And now we're picking up our route. We have 46 nautical miles to go to the C&D Canal. So 5:38 in the morning and we are underway. We're running from inside to get started just because it's a little cool out there. And we'll move up to the bridge. It's supposed to be a beautiful day. And the wind isn't blowing at all, and Jasper's wondering why he can't go up the stairs yet. We haven't opened it up yet, Jasper. Sorry, bud. There is something special about leaving right at sunrise. I know we say it every time, but originally this was supposed to be a 2-day trip. We were going to go first to the C&D Canal in one day, which is about 45 nautical miles. It's really about a 6-hour, can be a 6-hour day depending on currents and conditions, and then another 6+ hours to Cape May from there on the following day, all with the hopes of getting to Tuesday, which is going to be right now forecast to be a perfect day to run offshore on the New Jersey coast. And that's what we're sort of building our plan around. I didn't say schedule. And as a good example of not staying on a schedule, instead of heading out yesterday when winds were gusting to 25, small craft advisories, it was not a sensible or smart or safe thing to do, and it wouldn't have been pleasant. We made the decision to instead get up very early today and have an 11-hour day. And it might not be 11 hours, it might be a little more, it might be a little less. Currents are not in our favor because of our inability to plan around the currents because of such a long day. And we should be in Cape May, if all things go according to plan, sometime this afternoon, maybe around 4:30, 5 o'clock. And that is our day. So off we go. When you're inbound to Baltimore, this is sort of the iconic entrance to the Baltimore Harbor area, the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Traffic is light at 6:04 in the morning. You can kind of make out Fort Carroll just off of our port bow, having just come under the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Fort Carroll's got a little lighthouse on it, and it looks like a giant planter.
right, so this is your, I guess it's kind of mid-morning report. Since we've been underway since 5:30, we've gotten about 32 nautical miles under our keel so far. In about 12 miles, 11, 12 nautical miles, we will get to the C&D Canal. So we're in the upper part of Chesapeake Bay right now. Wind's blowing out of the northwest a little bit, about 9 knots. It's totally inconsequential. It really was a great decision to come today. Strangely, our autopilot is being a little squirrely, and we're zigzagging, and I'm not exactly sure why. Not in a huge way, but I gotta, things happen. I gotta check into that. But OLOH's running great. We've been fighting the current the whole day. There's nothing we can do about that. We'll probably be fighting it through the canal and again down for part of Delaware Bay anyway. The wind isn't too strong, so it shouldn't be a factor when the wind's going against the tide in the Delaware, but we'll see. It is a beautiful day to be on the water, and we will continue to press on. We are just now pushing into the entrance of the C&D, the Chesapeake and Delaware Canal. The C&D Canal is what connects Chesapeake Bay, the Upper Chesapeake Bay, with the Delaware River. It is 14 miles long. 14 miles long. I don't know what happened there. I believe it's about 450 feet wide, and I also believe it was finished up in the late 1820s. I don't know what kind of pleasure boating they were doing back in the 1820s, but thankfully, it is here for we pleasure boaters now. Cruisers who don't want to go out into the ocean, which you certainly can, and it is more obviously direct to go between Norfolk, Virginia, and Cape May, New Jersey, going outside in the ocean. But you got to have a great day to do that, or you don't care about the conditions, or a boat that can handle whatever it throws at you. We would do it in great conditions, no question about it. But we are choosing to do the C&D because we're coming from Baltimore, and that makes sense. So we're entering the C&D. It is easy peasy, and it looks like the current is actually slacked up and will get with us, which is good because it can run a couple of knots in here. So if you can have a fair current when you're going through the C&D, that's what you want to plan for, if you can plan for it. Because our schedules were screwed up, turning 2 travel days into 1. We didn't have that luxury, but it is looking like it's going to work out. And this is just also another really beautiful area. So here we go through the C&D.
Pantala. That is quite something. I have not seen that color of turquoise or a boat that shape ever in my life.
What is that?
It is a spaceship. It is fantastic. I wonder if it goes underwater. We all live in a turquoise submarine.
All right, 46 nautical miles into our trip. And by the way, before I get ahead of myself, we did look up Pantala, Danish built in 2006. What was the size on it? 114? 114 feet. Cruises at 30 knots, tops out at 40 knots. We are now coming up on the Chesapeake City Bridge, and this is where we had planned to stay if we were breaking this trip to Cape May up into 2 legs. But we're going to cruise right by this joint, which we've always passed when we've come through the C&D, never stayed here. It's a really easy in, easy out place right on the canal, Schaefer's Canal House. And they've got a restaurant, they've got fuel. It's an institution on the C&D and in this area. It has been here for a long time. A shout out to Dockmaster Tom. Thank you for taking our reservation. Sorry we had to cancel our reservation, but we appreciated your intended hospitality. And we look forward to seeing you next time we're through. I'm sure we'll stop here. We've stayed in the other places on the canal, but it really doesn't get any easier than this. And off our starboard side, that's the Chesapeake Inn and Marina, and that's where we stayed last time we came through the canal. I can see there's a big boat in there now, which gives me hope. There are mixed reports right now about shoaling. It's sort of prone to shoaling getting in and out of there. We wanted to try something new in any event, but we do have to check each time before attempting to head in here to get the latest information on whatever shoaling may exist. But if that boat can be in there, then I would say we could certainly be in there. All right, just like that, we are exiting the C&D Canal on the eastern end after traversing the 14 nautical miles. It's crazy when you go through here and you look at your depths and they're approaching 40 feet and you think about This thing being dug in the early 1800s. Certainly no Mahindra tractors to help them out back then. We are doing 12 knots right now at our usual 1200 RPM, picking up the fair current that is pushing us out, and we're going to have that current with us when we turn south into the Delaware River, for a while at least. We made up some real good time, like an hour and a half with this extra current and the extra speed, but we're certainly going to lose that when the current turns the other way on us. But it was an easy ride through the canal, and now we are going to turn to the south onto the boring Delaware River. It can be exciting in the ways you don't want it to be, but there's just not much to see. Nuclear power plant aside. So next stop, the Cape May Canal, which is 50 nautical miles from the entrance to the C&D. Well, you remember at the very beginning of this video, we were having pizza for dinner before our 4 a.m. wake up or whatever it was. Pizza for lunch. Who's it from? Home Slice?
Yeah.
Home Slice. Roasted garlic, Beyond Meat pepperoni, and some other exciting things. Lunchtime on OLOH. All right, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Just thought we'd do an update at this time. Gonna look over here to see that we have traveled so far 80.2 nautical miles, and we have 27.5 nautical miles to go. It has been an uneventful ride on the Delaware Bay. It's been really nice. There is no wave action to speak of. It can get pretty gnarly here, especially in a bad wind against tide situation, but the wind's blowing pretty modestly right now, maybe about 9 knots. We do have the current coming against us with the wind behind us, and we've lost about a knot of speed. So as I suspected would happen, our arrival time into Cape May has fallen back a little bit. I did check in with the marina, let them know approximately when we'll arrive. And we got our slip assignment. I always like to do that in advance if I can. We had spoken with them about it before, but I'd like to confirm it so we can rig for our tide before we ever get them on the radio. It's one less thing we have to think about. One thing I always tell people about transiting Delaware Bay, obviously all of your navigational decisions are your own, but do not feel compelled to plot your route, let's say like us, between the C&D Canal and the Cape May Canal in the shipping lanes. It's not a very efficient route, it just happens to be the clearest path for those big ships. There are plenty of big ships that transit these waters, and you'll want to stay well clear of them, give them a very wide berth when they are coming through. If you plot a very efficient course between canal and canal, or canal and the ocean, it will take you outside of those main lanes. There is, for the most part, plenty of water. There are certainly shoals. There are certainly places you'll want to avoid. It's very well charted. There are lighthouses and markers and things that will keep you safe, as well as just using your eyes and plotting appropriately with what you see on your chart. But again, don't feel like you have to stay in those main shipping lanes. And in fact, you'll save a lot of time and fuel if you don't. At the moment, you see that we are actually in the main shipping lane, and that's really because the course we were on cut through it. We were on it for a little bit, although we got out of it when this big ship came by us. So we're now moving our way out of it for the last time as we head on towards the Cape May Canal. All right, here we go. We are making the turn into the Cape May Canal, which puts us about 3.5 nautical miles from the Canyon Club Marina where we're staying tonight. Just heard a security call that the ferry New Jersey is going to be departing just as we're pulling in. So we're going to go nice and slow and let them hopefully come out before we get too far along, because there is some notorious shoaling right by the ferry terminal itself. To recap, we're just heading in to the canal, and the current runs. It's pushing us south right now, and we got a security call from the New Jersey, which is the ferry that is coming out of the Cape May ferry terminal right now, and there is not room for them to pull out of their berth and for us to enter.
Sailboat that's in front of the ferry, Cracker Jack 16.
Yeah, so a little sailboat went in just as the ferry was pulling out.
Yeah, sailboat, you got to come towards me. You're going to run aground. That water you're headed towards is shallow.
Yeah, that's the other thing I was talking about. Yeah. Anyway, we're standing off for the ferry is basically my point here. We're going to see the New Jersey, the ferry New Jersey, on 2 whistles.
Thanks for holding up there, Cap. Appreciate it.
She sounds like a cool cat. Yeah, this current is running in here. How often do you see me manually steering? You can use the Cape May Canal even if you're not staying in Cape May, just to circumvent basically the southern tip of New Jersey. You can go directly through as long as you can clear the 80-foot bridge. It is a way to avoid going around the southern tip of New Jersey, as I said, and can make the trip a little easier, particularly as the mouth of the Delaware can be quite something. All right, I'm going to focus. We're going to rig up. We will see you at the other end of the canal by the Canyon Club. Welcome to New Jersey.
Yeah,
Every time.
every time.
All right. Let's get the marina on the radio. Canyon Club Marina, motor vessel OLOH.
Canyon Club Marina here.
Good afternoon. We are about 7/10 of a mile from you guys, coming in with our reservation for the T-head at B-Dock. Over.
Outstanding. You're going to come straight into the marina, port side turn. You're going to keep the AT head on your port. Come right down. Right in front of you will be the BT head. And it's all yours. Just tie up, and I'll try to get a dock head out to you.
Fantastic. If you can't, we should be fine, and we'll look forward to seeing you shortly. We'll stand by on 0916.
Thank you.
All right, I've been asked to give the report. The Admiral is going to shoot this one,
Because I look hideous.
but because you never look
Not ready for my
hideous.
close-up.
But you can still be the voice behind the camera.
I am
As you've
inappropriately
been
dressed.
through this entire day, which is okay.
This is Jake from State Farm.
The Admiral was actually
She
behind
looks hideous.
at the helm for quite a while. I got sleepy this
What do you mean,
afternoon.
actually?
No, I meant for like a long watch, and
mean-
I dozed off.
And that is why I can't be in
I
front
don't
of the
think
camera.
I've ever slept underway on the boat, but when you get up that early, don't sleep all the night before. If you're tired, you do the same thing. 105 nautical miles is what it turned out to be, which is about 3 less than we thought. We were able to shave some off just with, as we were going. I realized there were a few more efficient ways I could cut. We are safely at Canyon Club Marina. It was 11 hours, 40 minutes underway. Canyon Club's been great, really nice and accommodating for us. It's a big sport fish marina, but this is a great place right off the canal for us to stop, pull right out in the morning, and we're out to the ocean. Gavin took good care of us, the dock hand.
Yeah, he's terrific.
Wolf, who is one of the managers, took good care of us. Thank you, Wolf. More importantly, ring ring. Fun day before we head off to New York City.
Yeah,
This was a good day on the water.
Yeah, I will be on the other side of the camera tomorrow, I swear.
Okay.
This was a good day on the water.
It was a good day in the water. Olo took good care of us. Jasper's
Yes.
ready for a walk. He still hasn't gone out.
We're back.
Olo, Rita, cheers, everyone.
Cheers,
Thank
everyone.
you.